For those who don't know, I used to participate in an online video series called Hardcore. You basically choose a game, whether that be Minecraft, Terraria, or DayZ, grab 7 other friends, and you try to beat a goal in just one life. This playstyle was initially inspired by Peanut Butter Gamer's video series called Hardcore. And with this series came a bunch of fan series. And this is what I would occupy my childhood with. There's a bunch of seasons that are still public that feature me when I was 12, 13, 14. But as I'm 19 now, there would be one season I featured in that would fuck with me till this day. On May 31st, 2022, I would be invited to one of these fan hardcores called Cosmic Crime. It was a series that was undergoing production, hosted by the YouTuber Tristan Bakon.
What I forgot to mention in the video is that me and Tristan had been friends since 2018, and I had featured in a bunch of his other seasons called Extreme. And for those from the community who are watching this video, he used to go by Rainbow Bacon.
What was different about this series compared to other fan hardcores was that this one had its own fictional story. It was also half animated. That was not the norm in this community. And it was looking to be one of the craziest fan hardcores yet. And admittedly, it was. Everything about this season was custom made, to the music, to the skins, to the portraits. It was an idea that I was really excited for. In specific, my character was supposed to be a serial killer. There wasn't any crazy backstory to him, just that I hadn't been caught for my crimes. My path was essentially up to improv by me. Only downside about this production was that me and a couple of cast members were not on good terms. Mainly Aaron Neko, or Aaron. Aaron and I left on terrible terms in 2018, so seeing them back brought back really bad memories for me. But Bacon would reassure me that I was in good spirits. And he told me that he believed that my attitude was a good attitude, which would show that hopefully all of us have grown since 2018. You know, because we were all kids. I was like 13 in 2018. Like I said, I don't really do them as much nowadays. I am featured in a couple of them still till this day, but most of my priorities has switched to in-person and my YouTube career. But at the time, 2 years ago, a lot of things had happened to me in this community, which I've talked about in a previous video before, that made me really timid to join this production. So it took a lot out of me to kind of be like, all right, you know, there's this person that really traumatized me as a kid, but you know what? I'm willing to end on good terms. It was supposed to be a fun little silly event, and I was excited for it. But August 6, 2022 would prove that wrong. Admittedly, I have never had the best sleep schedule. So due to a lack of sleep, the morning of the hardcore, I woke up with a splitting headache, which was at the time really common for me. My neurological issues were just at an all-time high, mainly due to me being on the computer screen all the time and absorbing its, blue screen. My migraine started to trigger around the time of COVID because we were on the computer so much. Okay, so something serious might have happened. I don't know when the situation is going to calm down, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it because I don't want to push the season back further. I let Bacon know immediately that there had been a potential emergency, and his first response is, dude, you have to get on. You promised me. What happened, man? IRL or what? And that emergency was when I had went downstairs to get my headache medicine. I realized that I didn't have any of my regular pills left. Usually I take 800 milligrams to settle it down. That day I didn't have my regular tablets, only 100 milligrams. So my dumbass downed 6 pills. My justification at the time was, oh, I need 800 milligrams. If these only contain 100 milligrams, then if I take 8, I should be at my regular dosage. Without even considering the fact, had I taken too much ibuprofen, it could have resulted in an actual overdose.
And once you do like more research about like ibuprofen dosages and what's safe, it comes up that the capsules are only 200 milligrams. So potentially I could have misread the bottle and it actually could have been 200 rather than the regular 100. That would be 1,200 milligrams taken all at once, which is literally on the line of a maximum dosage that someone should take. Since the situation happened a few years ago, I can't confirm whether the tablets were 100 or 200, but either way, the decision just wasn't smart.
The recommended dosage for adults is 1 or 2 200 milligram tablets. And I went above that limit and downed 6 100 milligram tablets. When I let my girlfriend at the time know, she began to freak out. She eventually told her mom, who works in the medical field, and she had told me that my decision could have led to an overdose. Even just searching up, I took 6 ibuprofen, brings up the top search that tells you that immediate action is required. YouTuber InvaderWist found dead of an ibuprofen overdose. Obviously, I'm able to make jokes about it now because I'm alive and well, but I was learning this information as everyone was panicking. I didn't really understand dosages at this time, as you can already tell. So this misunderstanding was the main cause of this mistake, and I've obviously learned since. It was safe to say that this was a real medical emergency. Accidents happen. As you can see from this message, I let Bacon know immediately that I may need to go to the hospital because of my stupid mistake. And you want to know how he responded? Man. Okay, so when are you hopping on, you think? Sorry, this is dire. I've done the same thing before. Go to the hospital if it's actually more serious than what I experienced, but keep me posted if you can. So I immediately responded like, I don't fucking know, man. I think it's very worrying how you're more worried about when I'll get on over something that could have cost me my life. Good looks. Anyways, I called my mom. She said I would be all right, so give me like 5 minutes and I'll be on. As you can tell, I was pretty annoyed at this point. I just told Bakon that I may have had a medical emergency, and the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, okay, so when are you hopping on? With him telling me that his situation is dire, as if he's trying to tell me that being a part of an online series is more important than my health. Even after this rude interaction, I even told him I'd still be on in about 5 minutes. By this time, everyone had calmed down. My mom reassured me that I'd be all right, but my girl was telling me, do not join this season. I insisted that I still joined because I felt terrible. I'd hate for all of this to be planned out just for a stupid mistake that I made to ruin it all. And I was genuinely blaming myself for the whole situation. Yes, I made a mistake, but the way that I had been responded to was completely inappropriate. But at the time, I felt like I still had an obligation to join the season no matter how mistreated I felt at the time. 5 minutes later, I would join the game and immediately be made fun of for almost overdosing by Aaron and Sir Raptor. This screenshot shows my initial reaction to the jokes, as my mic wasn't hooked up to the mod we were using, but I could hear everything they were saying. Bruh, that's the first thing I hear. I'm not gonna do this shit if y'all are just gonna make fun of me for my almost overdosing. Someone said, isn't he the guy that almost overdosed? And someone laughed. I had immediately joined the server and was greeted by someone saying, isn't that the guy that almost overdosed? Only for someone else to laugh, as if that wasn't like a horribly timed joke. This emergency had happened like 5 minutes before I joined. What the fuck? It wouldn't be until after I left the server in a fit of rage that Bakon would respond to my last DM about me addressing how he was way more worried about his season than me. Yeah, that felt awful. I wasn't thinking straight. I only said that because I don't know what you took, but I had a similar encounter. I just wrongfully assumed it was the same and you'd be fine. I promise I wouldn't say that if I wasn't under so much stress right now. That was my biggest mistake in a long time. Genuinely, I'm so sorry. Not just saying that to get you in the game, I promise. I understand you're under a lot of stress, but just me being in that server for 10 seconds screamed 2018, and I'm not gonna join and get disrespected. I'm not mad at whoever made the comment or whatever. It was poor taste, but then someone laughed like it was some fucking joke when I took that medicine hoping I'd be in better shape to record this shit, only to get disrespected frame one. I made a mistake. Yeah, but that caused a scare with my girlfriend / mom, and I could have easily landed in the hospital over it. So I'm conflicted on even if I want to join this anymore or not, because that shit was fucking disrespectful as shit. I said you were having a medical issue with something you took, which I shouldn't have shared, but at the same time, I didn't want them to think you were holding everyone up for no reason. They probably took my vague as nothing serious. They didn't know you were in danger and thought you probably had a headache. You know, I'm really sorry, and you have every right to be offended. Sir Raptor, the person that made the joke, would eventually apologize in DMs to me. I never responded to this because I did not believe that the cast was not made aware of how severe the situation was. Here's why. Someone specifically said, isn't that the guy that almost overdosed? That immediately tells me they knew the severity, they just didn't care. Bakon would tell me, coincidence. They had no idea about a hospital. Here, Bakon is trying to claim that nobody knew how severe the situation was. He claims that he kept it vague and just referred to it as a medical issue. If that was really the case, how do I join immediately to someone saying, isn't that the guy that almost overdosed? That told me they knew, but they did not care. On top of that, another cast member would go on to tell me that the cast were making comments such as, okay, this is too much, or I should be more tolerant, with him claiming that Bakon and Aaron were mainly saying these things. Gonna be real, don't want to stoke the fires. Even now, they're all like, okay, this is too much, he should be more tolerant, which is not a stance I particularly agree with, because again, if I was in your position and I logged on to hear that, I would be out immediately. It's less so Bakon saying this stuff, even though he still is, and mainly Aaron. Everyone else has been largely silent on the matter. This directly contradicts Bacon's claims that he said nothing. Reason why I believe this cast member over Bakon is because this cast member ended up leaving the season because of this entire situation. Had he been lying to me, I feel like it would have made more sense for him to stay in the season and appear like he's on my good side rather than stick to his word and leave due to a morality issue. When I heard him say he says he might have overdosed, I was thinking, okay, don't tell me we're still going ahead with this. I think out of everyone there, I had most to lose by this being delayed, and somehow everyone else did not process that you were likely undergoing a medical emergency. Bakon said that he had gone through this before and said he got it out fine and applied that experience to this situation. This is when I was able to confirm
that he lied, because not only was the overdose joke a dead giveaway, but also this cast member's claim of Bakon saying he says he might have overdosed. That's two people knowing about this potential overdose without me mentioning it to anybody at all except for Bakon. When his mention backfired, Bakon just straight up lied to me. This would then lead me to directly call him out on his bullshit. Hard for me to believe that, but either way, I don't want to hold up your season since it means a lot to you, but at the same time, all of this is just immediate red flags, and I'm thinking of just dropping out because that just pissed me off. Even if I do get on, I won't be as excited as I was before, / people may think they gotta walk eggshells around me, and just a bunch of reasons that are bigger than a fucking hardcore season. And for the next 10 minutes, Bakon would spam me. 4 people were AFK if that changed anything. It's just the guy that said it that feels bad. Trust me, we can still have fun. Sir Raptor wants to let you know he's sorry and he didn't know about your full situation. Do you want us to start without you? I responded with, I know, I got their DM. I'm just very conflicted about it right now. Again, if you don't want to hold up your season till I make a decision, go ahead, start without me. Bakon would respond with, we can't, you're in the lore and all that. I'd really have to find an explanation for that, but everyone is waiting in the VC in the box. I don't think there is anyone mad at you if you're worried about that side of things. I really want you to enjoy this. There's a lot of gameplay and such. Do you think we'll be waiting a long time now? Why ask me if you guys want to start without me? And when I tell you, start without me, you whine about how I can't miss out because of fucking lore. You could have just found a replacement person to incorporate my lore into. You can't force me into a season I don't want to do anymore. And it's not out of negligence or laziness from my part. It's out of absolute disrespect I was shown throughout this entire production. Yeah, if you're really adamant on getting me, it's gonna be a bit, because firstly, I gotta make sure my health is okay. Then I gotta see if I even want to do it. If you don't want to extend the season any further, just find a work around my lore and leave it at that. If you want to wait, then that's way more unpredictable. If we start without you, can I have your word that you'll be on later? Like a join late? If you want to be a quieter person in the game, that could be your character, and that's all right. 4 or 5 people don't even know what went down and didn't see you join the game. Well, from what I'm hearing, people are making comments that I'm being overdramatic. So that's that as well. If y'all can't understand the gravity of the situation, there should be no reason that I should even join. I think I explained to them clearly. No one is openly saying you're being dramatic. When the word hospital was used, they understood. All I can tell you is that I'm conflicted, but once again, for the 5th time, you can just record without me and write my character out since I'm holding up the season. That would be a shame, but all right. Yeah, just count me out. I'm pretty upset about how I've been treated throughout this entire situation. So good luck on everything. Bakon would then tell me that he canceled the season. He would not cancel it. That was another lie. I was kicked from the server. The lore apparently wasn't that big of a deal, because just a few minutes after I got kicked, Bakon would tell the cast that they'd be shooting again at 8 a.m. the next day. This wouldn't be the end of the situation though. On August 29, 2022, Bakon would send an apology. Hey Wist, I've been really on and off about whether I should talk to you about what happened, but I do want you to know that I still to this day feel bad for what happened, and that wasn't just an ordinary mistake. I should have been more careful about reading what you were saying and dealing with the situation, but you know all of that already. If there is anything you want to talk to, I'm here. Take care, man. This would be followed by 2 more DMs in 2023. Hey, sorry, my goofy self got hacked. The message above is some kid trying to send you some malware, but I got my account back and life is good. But I also hope you're doing good. These 2 messages throughout the last 2 years would not only show that Bakon was claiming to be more remorseful, but it was also a clear indication that I wanted to keep my distance. I said everything I needed to in my final message, and the situation should have ended here, privately. The reason I'm making this video is because I just learned a couple of days ago that Bakon decided it'd be a great idea to mock me in the official release of the season. At 8 minutes and 22 seconds in the first episode, my Minecraft skin appears in the season.
And then this year is a little rapscallion.
I'm not kidding you either.
A rapscallion.
This was not me. I did not want any association with the season anymore after my final message. Ironically enough, who else but Aaron would have a voice line right after the camera pans over to me?
I'm not kidding you either.
Bruh.
Need I remind you that Bakon and Aaron were the 2 main people that were giving me shit for this entire situation? You really want me to believe that those 2 getting voice lines to degrade me in character is supposed to be a coincidence? And then my unused asset appears on the screen, and if this was just gonna be a small little cameo or a little mention, I wouldn't have been so enraged to make this video. But when you skip to 12 minutes and 19 seconds into the episode, I feel like the vision becomes a lot clearer.
In double fact, this isn't even a gentleman. This weasel broke the rules, crawled through vents, carried contraband, conspired against us, but most importantly, left their squad for dead. And for that, there is punishment. Let this be a lesson not to be an evil idiot. moron.
Firstly, I'll get what you're thinking out the way. It's Minecraft, who cares? It's not the fact that it's Minecraft that makes me upset, it's the meaning behind it. After seeing all the evidence that I've laid out throughout this entire video, you're meaning to tell me that Bakon calling me a weasel, a backstabber, and a team ditcher isn't supposed to mean anything?
Even one of the friends that I ended up showing this video kind of pointed this out. I thought that this was kind of an interesting perspective. Why is the one of, if not the only black man there, put behind bars being called a weasel and humiliated as a white guy in a cop suit throws potions of harming at him, killing him? Even if there wasn't any racial undertones behind that, this is not a good look, bro.
If you're still not convinced, I'm gonna pose a couple of questions. Why did it need to be my skin in particular? You could have made that anyone else and got the same point across. Matter of fact, why didn't the other cast member who left the season alongside with me get a depiction like this?
On top of that, if it's also true that the season was recorded the day after this incident, did nobody in the cast truly believe that this was insensitive in any way? This is why I didn't take any of the apologies as genuine. Every single day for 2 years, you have a rational thought that my inclusion isn't insensitive in any way, and no one in the cast spoke up about it.
He cared so much about my lore to the point where he refused to let me drop out. Yet, he rewrote my character right here with no issue. Why couldn't you just write me out and wrote out the other cast member's character entirely? Why did I have to stay in the season? In 2022, he told me, I do want you to know that still to this day, I feel awful for what happened, and that wasn't just an ordinary mistake. I should have been more careful about reading what you were saying and dealing with the situation, but you know that. If you had already admitted to me that you understood how bad the situation was, why still include this scene 2 years later? Like, just think about that. You have to go through the actual recording. You have to keyframe my portrait. You gotta edit the montage. And most of all, with how highly edited this series is, I think it's crazy to overlook how deliberate my inclusion was. And once again, Bakon lied to me like 3 fucking times at this point. So to summarize, I was brought into a lore-based online series, and when I ran into a medical emergency, I was belittled by the cast members, cast aside as an afterthought by the host, mistreated during and after the season due to that potential overdose, and now I'm being dissed in a video that sat public on your YouTube channel for 3 fucking months. I wasn't made aware of my inclusion until recently. And to say that I'm angry would be an understatement. Like, if a random fan of mine made an edit of me dying in Minecraft, I wouldn't care. That shit would be funny as fuck. It's not Minecraft that is making me so upset. When you understand the story behind this season, and you begin to understand that I firstly did not consent to my likeness being used in this way by a man that I don't like, don't want to associate, due to him not giving a fuck about whether I was overdosing or not, speaks volumes to me more than a fun little Minecraft season could do. This is all 2-year-old drama. I don't even make Minecraft videos no more. But to taunt someone that you victimized is fucking disgusting, bro. I want you to take down that video or re-upload it to not include me, because I understand there's a lot of production value here. I'm sure a lot of people could give you unjust reasons of, oh, take the whole series down. No, just edit me out the episode. I don't fucking care. It's like if an actor gets mistreated on a movie set and they later back out of the contract, only for them later to be depicted being gruesomely killed in the movie via a lookalike. Like, that's a fucking diss. The only reason this is the cringe version of that is because it's fucking Minecraft. But the only reason it's there is to specifically mock me for not joining the season, which was, again, the consequence of him mishandling my overdose. There was no empathy given to me throughout this entire situation. I was lied to on multiple occasions. Your apology meant nothing, and you've unnecessarily dragged this drama into the public. Once again, I request that you either take that video down or re-upload it removing my likeness and leave me the hell alone.